Take 12! Hello! Welcome back. Good to have you. Today is all about moving minecarts and how you go about that in a nether-only world. I'm going to talk you through 6 separate ways, the pros and cons of each, and a general approach to using them. So, let's get into it. First up, powered rails. Now I say first up, but this one is actually a lie. It's not allowed under our conditions. So I'm only mentioning it so you can sort of see how it compares to the others. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain it. You probably understand how this thing works. So, pros. It's compact, it's reliable, it's lagless, it's fast. Generally all around perfect. But the cons, it's impossible to build in a nether-only world, and that makes it heresy. So we won't be using this one, unfortunately. First up is gravity. This one is by far the simplest, but it does have one unique property worth discussing, and that is its precision. Rolling a minecart downhill allows you to control exactly what speed it goes, which is invaluable in a few things. But an obvious example would be rolling it over the top of a hopper for longer, so it picks up more items. We'll talk a bit more about this precision when we discuss Netherstone comparators. Pros. Reliable, lagless, precise. The cons are it's either very slow, as in the minecart doesn't move very fast, or it's not very compact. And it's not sustainable, it can't go uphill. Right. Second, something I call upwards clipping. So this is where you roll a minecart onto a ramp in such a way that it clips upwards half a block. This can be done by sending it into the side of a ramp or rolling it upwards perpendicularly into a ramp. Lord, that's a mouthful. What this does is raise the height of the minecart half a block, which you can then take advantage of by rolling it back down that half block for some speed. It's an excellent choice for replacing turns or accelerating a minecart while it's travelling in a straight line. Pros are reliable, lagless, but the cons are that, again, this one's not terribly fast, and also if you want to get it uphill, dear lord, is it not compact. Alright, third, furnace minecarts. These useless lumbering beasts. This is more or less just powering a furnace minecart into the back of another minecart. It launches at some distance because furnace minecarts, I think, are weirdly coded or something to that effect. So, from each use of coal, they go 2 and a bit minutes, and they don't slow down at all, regardless of whether they're ploughing through 20 minecarts or they're travelling up 300 blocks. But unfortunately, the requirement for player-inputted coal, it makes them quite difficult to automate, and they're really painful to turn around, or separate from the track that the minecart it launches is on, which can be quite important to do. So, good pick for moving lots of minecarts really long distances, but honestly awful at, boosting stuff in contraptions. Pros, low lag, compact, reliable, fast, but the cons, requires player input and tricky to maneuver. Next up, fourthly, it's simple entity bumping. So while this one is restricted to minecarts, oh no, that's not right. While this one isn't restricted to minecarts, it applies equally to them. What it is using minecarts to bump other minecarts so as to move them. This means you pair this method with one other initial method. In this example, gravity is used as the initial push to allow the rest to form a kind of river. You can use this in one-wide tileable systems, but you can see that it doesn't move fast, at all, and the use of this many entities really does you no favours with lag. But it does allow you to put minecarts in non-grid positions and compact them greatly. So, as a result, this should never be your go-to for just generically moving minecarts, but if you need a bit of precision, perfect. So, pros. Compact, precise, not linked to grid placements. And the cons are that this is the slowest option, and it's a little bit laggy. Number 5, merged minecarts. So, this is where you stack 2 or more minecarts in the exact same place. This causes them to exhibit some weird behaviours, but most relevant to us is their speed. Any merged minecarts will immediately accelerate to top speed when given any acceleration at all from any of the other methods discussed. This means you can have really fast minecarts traveling infinitely, and they don't even need to be on rails. The downside is that they're quite difficult to control and pretty unreliable in terms of splitting apart. Generally, if you test something and you repeat the exact same thing with it, it'll be fine. But it's really difficult to try new and novel things with them. You've got to test these things so thoroughly. Also, there's a bug with hoppers and merged minecarts. If you try to put an item into like 3 merged chest minecarts, you'll never know which one it goes into, and if you're using item filters, it becomes a nightmare. So there are some issues there. So, pros: fast, compact. Cons: low, like a little bit of lag, and difficult to control, and that hopper bug I mentioned. Lastly, number 6, the 6 furnace booster. So I'm going to go a little off script with this one. You can get me talking in a natural environment, which I'm sure will be great. And we'll do a build tutorial. All right, let's see how this goes. So the actual construction of this thing is pretty damn simple. More or less, all you're doing is you're putting a nice slab there, rail there, something to block the front of it. I like to use trapdoors, but you could use a slab or you could use any number of things. What's nice about a trapdoor is it just makes it easy for a thing to reach this point. Now, the real tricky part that is likely why this hasn't been done before is just the order of placement with these things. So more or less, you place 3 in the direction you want to power it. So here we'll be placing 3 like so, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 down here, 1, 2, 3. You drop this one down to there, and you see that that one just moved ever so slightly forward. That indicates to you that this is now active, and launches that way. Now there is another way of building it. If you want to send it the other way, what you can do is something like this. Notice how this is more or less the same arrangement. But we just want to block that, and that. And now we need to block the front of it. So I'm going to use a slab to do that like so. And now we want it to go this way. So we put 3 here first, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 here, 1, 2, 3. Drop this into there. Notice how it moves forward, just ever so slightly to go that way. And away we go. Just so that's a little bit clearer, I'll just do that. Brilliant. Now, the important thing to note with these is that they can only face west, see the top left corner of the screen, or east. It's impossible to get them going north or south. And the reason for that is pretty simple. If I try and do, say, this, let's do it right. Actually, it's kind of dark over there. Bear with. There we go. What you'll very quickly notice is something that occurs here. I won't bother putting the 3 down there. Just watch this. 1, 2, 3. And break the rail. Notice how it turns. See, now it's facing in this same alignment. So when I place 3 here, they don't interact. They don't register that each other exists. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think this is because the sort of entity bumping that initially happens only works in the sort of direction that minecarts are facing. You'll see if I show hitboxes, they're actually just not quite touching, which is, yeah, okay, that's to be expected. But typically, if I put 2 minecarts like so, even though the hitboxes here won't be touching, oh, well, that disproves everything I was about to say. That's not normal. See, normally that's what happens. Why are they so well behaved? Okay, well, I know nothing. Point being though, they don't work facing north and south. That's the main thing. If you want them to go this way, you're going to need that little bit of a ramp, and if you want them like so, then you just need something in front of here, like a trapdoor or a slab or anything really, as long as a minecart can reach it. Oh, and other thing to note, just that if we were to try and run... Come back, buddy. There you go. If we were to try and run something sideways past here, what you will notice... Oh, let's do that. Bam. The moment it touches this little boundary box, even though it's not pointing directly into it, it's going sideways, it still launches that way. So that's sort of the way you get north and south kind of directions, if you need them. It does make one wide tile wall stuff a little bit tricky though. Anyway, hope that's helpful. So, pros. Fast, reliable, compact. But the cons, it's 6 entities per one of these things, which makes it the laggiest option for boosting. So, to summarise, how do you know which one to use? The order of operations goes something like this. Use gravity or upwards clipping whenever possible. If it won't give you enough speed or it takes up too much space, consider using merged minecarts. If you can't use merged minecarts because they're breaking apart or you need things to be able to go slowly or interact with hoppers, use a 6 furnace booster. Then, as edge cases, if you need compact minecarts or things to straddle multiple blocks, consider entity bumping. And if you can find a way to use regular furnace minecarts in a contraption, you are much smarter than me. Cool. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed. As a little thank you for sticking around this long, have a little secret 7th way of redstonelessly moving minecarts. Cheers.